ladies and gentlemen, across this beautiful land of the Pearl of Africa, Uganda. Welcome to this episode of the State of the Pearl here on City Television, the only channel that is close to you. Whether you're watching us from Uganda or abroad, we welcome you to this very interesting episode of the State of the Pearl, where we talk matters of state, opinions that matter, and actually news that is making rounds in the dailies and actually even with the traditional broadcasters. Well, my name is Heston Munanura, the revolutionary journalist. A peek into the Greek mythology history, where a discussion between two famous philosophers named Sophocles and Aristotle was documented by Plato in the book called The Republic, where Aristotle talked about the unitary political representative democracy kind of politics, and also Sophocles talked about the communist state as the modus operandi for any state to have good politics. But tonight, what Aristotle talks about in that book, in that discussion, he emphasizes the point of unitary representative democracy. This brings us to the topic of parliament. Parliament is only a chain within separation of powers, but in Uganda today, is parliament, the question tonight, is parliament more of a liability than an asset in our country? We look at the lavish spending. To the political elite, it has become an avenue through which people get rich, an avenue through which people get quick wealth, instead of its cardinal purpose of serving the common man at the helm of the social strata. To discuss this important topic tonight, I am having Mayambala Joseph, resident panelist on the State of the Pearl. He is the Chief Executive Officer, Hazard Media Limited, and actually, come 2026, he is to become the Member of Parliament for a constituency he is yet to disclose. He is also a political pundit. He will be with us tonight discussing this important topic. Well, stay tuned. Coming up, the discussion on this topic. Hello and welcome to the State of the Pearl. Earlier, as I said in the preamble, we are discussing parliamentary politics tonight. Well, my guest tonight, I had already introduced him. He is Mayambala Joseph. You're welcome. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
First things first.
Yes.
There is a lot of controversy that is surrounding parliament right now. The kind of parliament we are having has parliament starts in 1962 after independence. All those members of parliament up to now there is that juxtaposition. What do you make of the parliament then and the parliament now? Because the other one looked more of pro-people to those who were there by then. Yeah. But the one that is now is having these exogenous shocks, the economic benefit out of the politics. What is your take on that?
Eston, look, one of the problems we are facing in today's parliament, the 10th parliament, is that most of the people who join the parliament join it for personal issues. If you're to compare it with the first parliament of 1962, most of the people who joined the parliament were patriotic to their nation.
Yes,
they came with an excitement of having an independent nation.
Yeah, the likes of Daudi Ocheng, the likes of John Babiha, all these,
Because they are excited about their nation being independent and they wanted to work hard to see to it that they build up their nation. But today's parliament is filled up with people who are just forced into parliament for personal issues by their boss.
But then the political systems then were more dictatorial and totalitarian compared with today's sort of quasi-democratic state that has been brought in by the national resistance movement.
I'd like to tell you one thing, that we are living in a state which is indirect. We are living in an indirect dictatorship regime where they pretend that all the free arms of the government have power and they are independent, but in actual sense, they all dance to the tunes of the executive. So, do you know why every now and then new constituencies are created?
Some sort of political gerrymandering,
of course.
Yes. But
the big man is targeting people who...
Let us look at the figures, Mayambala. budget in 2006, Parliament was spending more, something like 800 billion.
Yeah.
In 2011 financial year, it spent around 500. Right now, it is spending 500 billion. Right now, it is spending 400 billion. There has been that slash. But then, why is there a lot of hula baloo, a lot of talk that members of parliament are actually benefiting from parliament, yet the budget has been having what I call periodic slashes in its budget?
Now, Eston, the problem is not members of the parliament benefiting from the parliament, but the problem is all about is the money they are getting worth the service they are bringing back to the people who elected them. For me as a person, I have no problem with a member of parliament being given a car, being given a huge salary, because we need to pay him something good that he works hard for the nation. But the problem we face, we as people who wake up and go vote, is that they are given more than what they deserve. As if you to compare their services to what we pay them, something more big.
You see,
because
the problem,
this is like buying an expensive shirt and it lasts for only 2 days.
Remember, the only problem I have with you elites is that we do not look at the realities. First of all, let's put it back on to basics. What is the role of a member of parliament? In Britain, the member of parliament is supposed to do only one job: to legislate and to make sure that the law protects the people of the country, and protects and brings about legislations, bring about a welfare kind of state for people, and create an environment where people live a well-meaning life. But today, members of parliament in their constituencies are seen as the automatic teller machines through which money from government can reach, which is not supposed to be the case. I think that is where these people demand for the money they are demanding for in parliament. Don't you think so?
But I would like to ask you one question before I answer you with that. Do that money they demand from parliament work as it's supposed to work? Because the problem of people is not the money they get. Because under normal circumstances, when you become a leader, there are certain privileges you're supposed to get. You're supposed to get a car, you're supposed to get an insurance, you're supposed to get all this and that. But what pains people is, does the service they pay for, do they get the service they pay for? Because people elect members of parliaments, people pay taxes in order to finance their lavish styles, expecting something good from them. At the end of it all, the members of parliament decide to think about their stomachs and their families. Because I'll give you a scenario. You remember the cancer saga. It came at a period where the parliament were preparing to elect the
speaker.
The speaker. Over 300 members of parliament did not, how can I phrase it?
They did not think it was important to move a motion that can push government to buy that
they took a bribe on their first parliament sitting. On their first sitting, they took a bribe of 5 million.
Can you substantiate that? Because, excuse me, these views are not for city television.
They are personal views.
These are personal views of the political pundit. I want you to substantiate that claim.
Let me make myself clear.
Yes.
The parliament took a bribe on the first sitting. This was admitted by the boss Museveni. He said his MPs were poor. He had to help them out with money for buying suits and making parties after swearing in. When Honorable Member of Parliament Betty Numbers asked him where did he get the money, he said he had solicited the money from a top like how Katikiro Peter Maiga does. I think you informed, you saw that thing. The way the president played around with people on such an issue. But it came in a period where the nation needed only 7 billion to purchase a cancer machine. They said it wasn't around. But the 5 billion of bribing MPs to vote Jack Bolanya was around. So these are things that pain people. Because the government claims there's no money to build roads, there's no money to pay university students and teachers, there's no money to provide social services. But after that, it releases 63 billion for MPs to buy cars.
Remember, before we digress into the functionalities of Parliament and the independence of Parliament as an institution, I would like you to tell the viewers and explain to that man who is there, who wakes up early in the morning to get to his shamba, or wakes up early in the morning and is having a family to feed. How does a member of Parliament fit into that squabble of a person who's struggling to find or make a king? Because politics is in political science definition, is the art of management of society.
Yeah.
Meaning the political elite, in this case the members of Parliament, have a responsibility to work for that person at the helm of the social strata. Just give us a jugular on that one. And yes, and tell us
qualities of a good member of Parliament.
Exactly.
So, one of the things I would advise people on that to do before they elect any person into any position of leadership is first look at that person's CV. What he or she has been doing before joining Parliament. Has he been doing any corporate social responsibility? For example, if that person has been advocating for female education, advocating for calling upon people to fight poverty, calling upon people to do things that cause social, economic, and development and political change in his environment, that would fit. But the problem with Ugandans is that they vote people because they speak English. They vote people because they burn them with soap and sugar. They vote people because they are funny. Because there's a certain MP I know. He said, "Banange, vote me, I also Uganda, I eat." And he has started eating, and the people who voted him to eat are now complaining. And I said to them, "Why did you vote for a person who openly told you that vote me so that I can eat?" I think let's vote people who have done something in community before standing for any position.
I would like to play the devil's advocate for government tonight and tell you that the pressures of a member of Parliament to bring a service to his people is surrounded by inimical and grotesque and big bureaucracies that surround if he wants a road to be built, for example in Buyamba, for example in Muchwini, for example in Amuru, if that road is supposed to be built, there are certain steps which can take the first. Actually, by the time it is built, he would have lobbied for that for 2 years. How many members of Parliament do we have? We are having over 400. So if each of them is lobbying for a service, and to implement that, it's 2 years. Don't you think it's going on their part? You shouldn't blame them. It is not a failure of the MP per se, but it is an institutional dysfunction.
No,
do you think so?
It's the role of the Parliament, because they're the legislators. If they say they have the powers, as I usually see, they claim that we are legislators. It's their responsibility to stop those bureaucracies. In Kenya, there is what we call constituency development fee. They have to see how to come up with it.
No,
instead of driving expensive
in
cars.
In Uganda, my
advocating for death. How do they call death? What?
Yeah, but
that's rubbish.
In Uganda, for your information, every member of Parliament is given 25 million every financial year as CDF, Constituency Development Fund. But the problem is that there may not be any measures that push the MPs to account for that money. You can answer this in only like 2 minutes. Then we get into this other side of the pigs that were thrown to Parliament, its connotations and what it says about our Parliament as a country. So first answer this. You have said in Kenya there's CDF. Yes, we have CDF. 25 million is put for constituency development fund. But the problem I have is that maybe there might not be that push to account for that money. Don't you think now this is not a failure of the member of Parliament, but failure of that institutional framework to follow up these funds and to see what they have done?
I blame two parties for this. First, the office of the IDG, because it's responsible for all government expenditures. Another arm of forces I would blame is the Parliament, because 25 million is not enough for our constituency. Believe me or not, it isn't enough. Let them get the money they use in other things that are not even contributing any positive change towards our nation, like buying cars. Let them reduce on the budget of buying cars, because I saw they spent over. I do see if they spend something like 20 billions on cars, and the remaining 43 billion is sent back into constituencies. Do you know how much development it would cause? What impact it would cause to the constituencies?
We are running out of time.
The problem.
Yeah, we are running out of time. Okay, Mayambala, in the dying minutes of the show,
yeah.
let's look at these two boys who got the courage of showing their dissatisfaction towards the way Parliament is being run. Brings those pigs. This is actually the third time this is happening.
Yeah.
I mean, is this a wider? Does this show that there are so many people out there that are dissatisfied with the way Parliament is being done? Because even the public relations of Parliament has not done so much to redeem to do what we call damage control. What do you have to say?
You see, Eston, if we are to make an opinion poll right now about people and their views about Parliament, you find that 80% of the population is not happy with what the Parliament is doing. Like I was saying, that the way they are spending taxpayers' money, the way they are not caring about people's problems, the way they handle themselves. I guess 80% of the population might not be happy with what they are doing right now. But going on the issue of pigs, as a student who did marketing, you know, in marketing, when you're coming up with an advert, there's a way you have to make your message appear clear, and you need to think about message performance. How do you package your message in a way that it won't be forgot by a person who sees it and it will impact? I think whoever is behind this big thing did marketing, and I was very happy with the way he did it, because he packaged the message in a way that it won't be forgot, in a way that will attract the attention of the rest of the world, in a way that will call upon people to think and reason about what they are doing. I really guess there is an invisible hand behind this thing, and that invisible hand, if they do not look at it, they might end up losing a lot, or they might end up joining the likes of Laurent Gbagbo, Mubarak, and others.
All right, thank you very much, Mayambala Joseph. And this was the state of the PAL. I am Heston Munanra, and remember, we are on Facebook, City Television Uganda /state of the PAL. Remember, we need your feedback towards this show. We are glad that you've been tuned in to City Television, the only station that is close to you. This has been the State of the PAL. Have the best of your week.